Just a shoulder. Just a shoulder. Other than that, I'm pretty healthy.
Does it impact you at all during the games, or is it just?
Not really, because adrenaline get going, and then I'm trying to make plays for my guys. I'm not really so much worried about being hurt. Obviously, I know what's going on leading up into it, and as far as the preparation that I need going out throughout the week. But when I get out there, man, I'm thinking about winning a football game.
I'm sure you talk to the younger receivers about how to fight through those things, especially because you guys get nicked up a lot, and you have to fight through a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's usually understanding your pain tolerance, if so much to say, and obviously, if it's impeding with what you do, like as far as contributing to the team and contributing to winning, then I suggest you sit out because I don't want you to embarrass yourself. Granted, the competitiveness and everything as far as pride goes, that you want to be out there, but if it's not going to be like positive for anybody, or you're not going to be able to be who you are out there on the field, then don't risk it. But if you have a chance of going out there and still having an opportunity of withstanding those injuries, or just withstanding the burden of the injury, and still being able to play at a high level, then you're fine.
What's the motivation to play for now?
What you mean? Still to win a game, regardless. At the end of the day, still got to win a game. That's the motivation.
Even after that loss, there's still actually a chance you guys could slim, but a chance you guys could get in the playoffs. How do you think about that?
We got to win out. So in order for anything else to happen, all the help that we need, we still have to do our part.
Is there a lot of talk about that?
No. We just need to focus on one game at a time. We don't need to worry about anything else at this point. We need everybody to hone in on their job and handle their responsibilities, and then let everything else just fall into place.
Does Mike's situation enter into your thinking at all?
Not really. Obviously, having him here and having him since I've been here, it means a lot to me. So with that, I don't really think much of it, but going out there and, again, trying to play as hard as I can. I'm obviously putting myself out there for the benefit of the team, and of course myself. I love to compete, but it's bigger than me.
CeeDee, you added to your frame over the offseason. How have you seen that kind of manifest itself throughout the season?
Been able to break a lot of tackles. Feels good, feels stronger, feel more endured after post broken tackle. So I feel like everything that I've done in the offseason, it definitely is showing up this season. Granted, it's not in the greatest of explosion of plays, but it's definitely there in the nick of time.
You guys always talk about moving on to the next game. It's a little bit harder this week considering you lost Overshawn and the emotions of that and the emotions of the game in general.
Obviously, losing a teammate is never really, you always want to come out the game with the guys that you went in with, right? So as for us, yeah, that sucks, bro. D-Mo was having a great season, and obviously for him to be set back again with another leg injury, sick for him. I hated for him. He was literally just reaching for who he can become. And obviously, as we saw the type of player that he can potentially be, and I know he will be when he shake back. So he's got to overcome this other obstacle that God placed in front of him. And then once he fight himself back, he'll be back in no time.
With a sprained AC, is that something that can get worse, or is it kind
Yes.
of one of the?
Worse. It can get better.
Way to
Worse.
fix it is-
You're going to need off-season surgery?
No.
Okay, I know a couple of jobs.
Nah, don't be scaring my people.
CeeDee, Mike said this morning, given what you're going through, you give like the best example to your teammates in terms of how you're preparing. I guess could you kind of give some insight on just what extra work you're doing right now, given the injury?
Obviously, on my body, making sure that I'm able to move all my intangibles, to say the least, at the rate that I've been, pre-shoulder injury, right? So just making sure that I'm out there for those guys, leading in any way that I can. Obviously, if it's not physical, it's in the mental aspect of the game. So in the room, I'm getting right. But other than that, as far as communication goes and playing, they know that I'm out there. When I'm out there, I'm battling. So just exerting that energy and them feeding off me is probably the best thing that we have going. But I love that. So just being that standard for the guys came a long way.
Thanks, CeeDee.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, man.
Hey, let's be real. This season hasn't been easy for us Cowboys fans. Sitting at 5-8, that hurts. And the main reason? Injuries. It's been one after another, like a bad dream that just won't end. Dak Prescott? Gone. Zach Martin? Out. Micah Parsons? Missed games. And let's not even get started on DeMarcus Lawrence or Darren Bland. But here's the thing. Through all this chaos, one player has stood tall. CeeDee Lamb. He's been our rock. While everyone else seems to be sidelined, he's been out there every single game, fighting for every yard and every win. So let me ask you, of all the injured players, who do you think we're missing the most? Drop your pick in the comments. Let's talk about it. And speaking of CeeDee, his story this season? It's nothing short of inspiring. Let me tell you why. CeeDee Lamb, what a fighter, right? Imagine playing 13 straight games with an AC joint sprain in your shoulder. That's what he's been dealing with since week 9, and it hasn't been a walk in the park. Remember Thanksgiving Day? He had to leave the game early after aggravating the injury. But then, just a week later, he's back on the field, making plays against the Bengals, catching 6 passes for 93 yards and a touchdown. Here's the crazy part. He says adrenaline takes over, and the pain just fades into the background. Can you believe that? He's out there, not thinking about himself, but about helping his team. That's the kind of player you want on your side, a true competitor. But CeeDee's not reckless. He knows his limits. He said himself, if an injury keeps you from contributing to the team, you should sit out. Yet every week, he's decided he can help more than hurt, and his performance proves it. What do you think? Would you push through the pain like CeeDee, or would you sit out to heal? Let me know in the comments. And speaking of pushing through, wait until you hear how CeeDee's stepping up as a leader this season. CeeDee Lamb isn't just surviving this season, he's thriving. Let's talk numbers. Through 13 games, he's racked up 85 receptions, the 3rd most in the NFL this year. And he's done it without Dak Prescott for half of those games. That's insane. This is his 3rd straight season with at least 85 catches, a feat no other Cowboy has achieved, not Dez Bryant, not even Jason Witten. But it's more than stats. Lamb is leading by example. Whether it's breaking tackles, he's on pace to set a career high, or lifting his teammates with his energy. He's the heartbeat of this team. He's even said himself, if he can't lead physically, he's going to do it mentally. That's what makes him special. Now here's a fun question. Do you think CeeDee Lamb has already cemented himself as the best Cowboys receiver since Dez Bryant? Drop a yes or no in the comments. Let's dive into his relationship with Coach McCarthy and why it matters so much. Here's something you might not know. CeeDee Lamb has a deep respect for Mike McCarthy. Since being drafted, McCarthy's been the only NFL head coach CeeDee's played for. That bond matters, especially in a season as rough as this one. Despite all the noise about McCarthy's future with the Cowboys, Lamb stays focused. He's not out there for the drama. He's out there to win, for himself, for the team, and for his coach. CeeDee said it best. He loves to compete, but it's bigger than him. You can see that every time he steps on the field, shoulder injury and all. It's about pride, loyalty, and the drive to keep this team alive in the playoff race, even if the odds are slim. What do you think about McCarthy's future? Should the Cowboys stick with him, or is it time for a change? Let's hear your take in the comments. And speaking of the playoff race, let's wrap up with what's at stake for the Cowboys and their slim chances of turning this season around. Alright, let's get real. The Cowboys' playoff chances? Slim, a 0.3% shot according to simulations. It's like trying to thread a needle in the dark, but you know what? CeeDee Lamb isn't giving up, and neither should we. He knows the math is against us, but his focus is crystal clear, one game at a time. Here's the deal, we have to win out. Panthers, Buccaneers, Eagles, Commanders, it's a tough road, but it's the only way. CeeDee believes in this team, and he's leading the charge, showing us what grit and determination look like. Now it's your turn. Do you believe the Cowboys can pull off a miracle and make the playoffs? Vote yes or no in the comments. And if you're still rooting for this team like CeeDee is, hit that like button and subscribe for more updates. No matter what happens, we ride together. Go Cowboys!